Okay, and here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Online Sports Channel. So, as it says at the top, don't forget to subscribe to the channel over there or over here or wherever it is. Yeah, subscribe to the channel anyway. Thanks so much for last night and those who tuned in to our live show and our live commentating. Got lots of real positive feedback about it. So we appreciate that. So first up, we'll be talking about Luis Ortiz versus Razvan Conjanu. Now, we know that Luis Ortiz was meant to come back to fight Joe Hanks. That fight got cancelled, and so therefore Razvan Conjanu stepped in to face Luis Ortiz. We knew that Razvan Conjanu had recently gone the distance and was a sparring partner, chief sparring partner for Joseph Parker. We also knew that on the same night, Joseph Parker was fighting Dillian Whyte. We knew that Luis Ortiz had come off a KO loss to Deontay Wilder. So we kind of understood what was going on. Conjanu went to points with Joseph Parker. Deontay Wilder knocked out Luis Ortiz. And Joseph Parker was going to be fighting Dillian Whyte. So first of all, I start by saying congratulations to Luis Ortiz for a great straight left hand, which hit Razvan on the chin, and he couldn't shake off the effects of what was a stunning knockout victory. Something that Joseph Parker couldn't do in 12 rounds. Note number one. Note number two, Luis Ortiz, the 48-year-old, as revealed by two sources. First of all, by Amir Mansour, who was on the channel, who was first to reveal it, and then more recently, Rick Glaser. Both were live interviews on the channel. So if you were fortunate to listen to those interviews live, you heard it then. So, and then that's when we were talking about it, and people have since jumped on the bandwagon about the Luis Ortiz is 48 years old and he's an old man. But he was good enough, and a lot of people were pushing for Luis Ortiz to fight Deontay Wilder. If you take it back, Luis Ortiz, I believe at one point, was mandatory to fight Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua didn't fight him. That wasn't considered a duck. Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, and Luis Ortiz was the man at the time many people thought would beat Deontay Wilder. That Wilder was chinny, and that Luis Ortiz's boxing ability and his punching power and his Cuban style would give Wilder problems and ultimately defeat Deontay Wilder. The plans didn't work out that way, and Deontay Wilder knocked out Luis Ortiz, the #1 contender, considered by many as the most dangerous man in the heavyweight division, or if you want to determine the baddest man on the planet. So Deontay Wilder fights Luis Ortiz, the baddest man on the planet, the guy that was most avoided. Deontay Wilder beats him, and he's considered, Luis Ortiz is considered an old man after Deontay Wilder wins. Last night, Luis Ortiz won. He knocked out Razvan Conjanu in stunning fashion. Dillian Whyte wins his fight, which we'll talk about later in another video, against Joseph Parker in impressive fashion. So Razvan Conjanu, who got knocked out by Luis Ortiz, but Joseph Parker, who couldn't stop him, a younger man, and was rated one of the best heavyweights in the world, couldn't stop him. Luis Ortiz stopped him. So what are we going to say here? Luis Ortiz should fight Dillian Whyte. So if Dillian Whyte beats Luis Ortiz, what's the story going to be then? What's the crack going to be then? Well, Luis Ortiz is an old man. So to me, you either set the goalpost being Luis Ortiz is an old man and he should retire from boxing and he shouldn't box anymore, or you open the debate up and say, well, Luis Ortiz is a credible opponent. He is a world-ranked heavyweight. He's a top-class heavyweight and can punch. If you can give him the credit for he can punch, he knocked out Conjanu in 2 rounds with a straight left hand. Now, if I remember correctly, Deontay Wilder was considered chinny and not very good, got hit by more than one left hand by Luis Ortiz, and was able to withstand that punching power and go on to knock Luis Ortiz out. So what's the decision going to be made here? Is Joseph Parker not a very good puncher? Is Luis Ortiz punching power overrated or underrated? Is Deontay Wilder's chin overrated or underrated? Is Deontay Wilder overrated or underrated? Is Luis Ortiz overrated or underrated? We've seen Joseph Parker. We've seen what's happened to Joseph Parker. We've seen what's happened to Luis Ortiz. We've seen what's happened to Razvan Conjanu. So what is it, boxing fans? And when are we going to start giving people credit? Is Deontay Wilder that good? Is Luis Ortiz that good? Or was Razvan Conjanu not very good? What is it, boxing fans? Talk to me. So I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. For me, you've got to give Deontay Wilder credit for what he did and how he handled Luis Ortiz. And the other question you've got to ask yourself, and I'm only asking the question, I don't know what the testing was like for this fight. We know that in the past, Luis Ortiz was caught with certain substances. I don't know how stringent the testing was for this one. I know he's enrolled now. So if he's enrolled, then there shouldn't be a problem with him. So if that's the case, and he's enrolled and there's no problems with Luis Ortiz, there should be no excuses. Why people want Dillian Whyte now to fight Luis Ortiz, I don't know. He's fought Lucas Brown. He's fought Joseph Parker. The man now needs to be fighting for a world title. And I'll talk more about Dillian Whyte in the next video. But for this video, congratulations to Luis Ortiz. He is still a dangerous man in the heavyweight division. And once he's got that punching power, he's a threat to anyone in the division. I don't hear anybody rushing for Luis Ortiz to fight Anthony Joshua. Okay, I don't hear that happening. I hear a lot of people trying to throw Dillian Whyte in the room with Deontay Wilder. I hear a lot of people want to throw Luis Ortiz in the room with Deontay Wilder. I don't hear many people saying, let's put Luis Ortiz in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Because, of course, that doesn't suit some scripts. So I think we need to be balanced and be honest and say Deontay Wilder can take a heck of a shot. And maybe Joseph Parker isn't as good as everyone says he is. Maybe he doesn't punch as hard as advertised. Or just maybe Luis Ortiz is a very skilled heavyweight that got himself in position to land the right shot at the right time to knock Conjanu out. Who knows? I'll have to interview Razvan Conjanu to find out just how hard Luis Ortiz does hit compared to Joseph Parker to find out exactly what it is. But I understand Conjanu had plans and he took this fight very seriously. So, well, that's it. For me, Deontay Wilder is a top heavyweight. For me, Luis Ortiz is a top heavyweight, regardless of age. He's got experience. He's still a top heavyweight. For me, these guys need to be respected. And I'll leave it as that. Congratulations, Luis Ortiz. Once again, showing that that straight left hand is a danger for anybody who decides to stand right in front of you and feel the full venom in that left hand. A dangerous heavyweight. You won't hear me talking about Luis Ortiz's age. And if I do talk about it, I mentioned it in the Wilder fight, and I told everybody who was pushing for the Wilder fight with Ortiz, Deontay Wilder is going to knock Luis Ortiz out. It's not going to work out well for Luis Ortiz. Why people are throwing up the Luis Ortiz name up, I don't know. Because the same people that call up and throw up and say he's the man to fight, then when he gets beat, you turn around and say he's 48 years old. So for me, full credit to Luis Ortiz. However, I don't want to engage in too many conversations with people about Luis Ortiz because it's like a goalpost that keeps moving wider and wider. You beat him, but he's over the hill. You beat him, he's an old man. You beat him, but he's got knocked up by Deontay Wilder anyway. So if Deontay Wilder's crap, then Luis Ortiz should be crap. So let's just be a bit more balanced, boxing fans. Let's give people credit. Even if we don't like them, let's still give them credit. That's what it's about. Okay, that's the end of this particular video. Luis Ortiz versus Razvan Conjanu, my review on this video. Let's see what people are saying about this. Organics Herbal Supplement says, Ortiz closes distance well. The right hook started the trouble. The left ended it. Thank you all for watching. When I come back, I'll probably be talking about Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter. Stay tuned.